What does "I have no enemies" mean to you? So this quote is from Vinland Saga, written by Makoto Yukimura, one of my favorite anime and manga in existence. Anyway, this quote is said by Thorfinn, the main character, when he is getting the out of him, right? It is not looking good for him. And he says, hey, I'm not going to fight y'all because I have no enemies. Whoa, crazy thing to say. Now, let's talk about it. Starting off, you have no enemies. I think at first you're just saying, no one, I don't have anyone to beef with. I ain't got no problems with nobody. This is what the quote means to me. Now, I have no enemies. No one has an issue with me. But of course, people could still have issues with me. I'm just like, that's a you thing. That's over there thing, right? In my head, this is how it works. So let's say this person, for some reason, has an issue with me. They're yelling at me. They got blah, 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 blah. In my head, I'm like, I'm not really your problem. Really, your problem is something that's happening within inside of you, and now you're taking that out and putting it out on me. You're projecting that anger and stuff out on me. That's not my problem. That's a you thing. So I'm not really your enemy.
Okay, total side note that I just thought of while editing is that for Thorfinn, I feel like his perception of this quote is that you might see me as your enemy, but I no longer view people as enemies, because his entire life, all he saw were people as enemies and people he had to kill and stuff like that. And so with his whole transformation and everything like that, his mindset changed to where he's like, I actually have no enemies. And it's kind of like how you choose to perceive people. And Thorfinn chose to see people as not enemies.
I think it's really interesting to think like, you don't have any enemies, but if you did have an enemy, it would probably be yourself. And the reason why you're making so many enemies out of other people is because you don't want to face your true enemy, which is yourself. A great example of this, if you've ever seen Naruto, when he has to go to the waterfall of truth, he comes face to face with his dark Naruto side, and they hug it out, and then they become one, and then they're all good to go. Another example would be Bleach. I don't remember how it ended out because I don't think I got that far, but I know him and his Hollow Ichigo self were fighting, and I'm assuming they all made up and it all went fine. Luffy doesn't really have one, not that I know of. Oda hasn't put one in yet. But those are all examples of facing yourself and your enemy self. Of course, there are 1,000,001 interpretations of what this quote can mean and how you can apply it to your life, but this is my interpretation.